All right, let's talk about a farming method that does way more than just turn a profit. We're diving into how you can create a completely self-sustaining world right on your own farm. So let's start with a really big question. Can you even imagine a farm where you almost never have to pay for major expenses like fertilizer or animal feed? It sounds pretty out there, right? But believe it or not, that's the core idea behind a truly revolutionary way of thinking about agriculture. So, what is this unique solution? Well, it's a concept that basically transforms the entire farm into one single interconnected system. It's called the Integrated Farming System, or IFS for short. At its heart, an integrated farming system is a method where absolutely nothing goes to waste. I mean, nothing. It cleverly links all the different things you might do on a farm, like growing crops, raising animals, even fish farming, into this perfect closed loop. The waste from one part of the farm becomes a super valuable input for another. And this simple idea right here is the magic that makes the whole thing work. It's a total mindset shift, right? What you used to see as garbage is now a resource. You're literally creating a cycle of value right on your own land, which is just brilliant. So what does this actually look like in the real world? Well, an integrated farm can combine a few different things. You've got your main crops, sure, but you also bring in livestock, maybe a small fish pond, and some chickens or ducks. And the secret ingredient holding it all together? You make your own amazing organic fertilizer through vermicomposting. Okay, so this all sounds great on paper, but how does it actually work day to day? How do all these pieces really connect and support each other? Let's break down that cycle. So let's follow the loop, starting with the crops. Starting with the crops, after you harvest, you're left with all that straw and stalks. Now, on a regular farm, that might just get thrown out. But here, nope. It becomes completely free, nutritious food for your animals. And that's connection number one. The crops feed the livestock. Now, what do the animals give back to the system? Well, their manure, of course. But instead of being a problem you have to deal with, it's turned into this incredibly rich organic fertilizer. And that goes straight back to the fields, feeding the soil and boosting your next harvest, all without you spending a dime on chemical fertilizers. And these connections can get really, really clever. For example, some farmers build their chicken coop right over a fish pond. Why? Because the chicken droppings fall directly into the water, becoming a natural, protein-packed food source for the fish. See? Another waste product is instantly turned into a valuable resource. And the cycle just keeps going. The water in that fish pond gets packed with all sorts of nutrients, so when you use that water to irrigate your crops, you're not just watering them, you're fertilizing them at the exact same time. And that can give your crop yields a serious boost. So you can really start to see how it all connects, can't you? The crops feed the livestock and the fish feed the crops, the poultry feed the fish. It's this beautiful, self-sustaining cycle where the need to buy outside stuff like feed and fertilizer just plummets. So, okay, it's an elegant, sustainable system, that's clear. But what does all this mean for a farmer's wallet? Let's get into the math and talk about the money. This number right here, this represents how much you could potentially slash your farming costs. Think about that. By making your own fertilizer and animal feed on site, you could cut your operating expenses by nearly half. That is a huge saving. And when you put the two models side by side, it's just crystal clear. Traditional farming often means you're spending a ton of money on inputs, and that eats away at your profits. But with integrated farming, you're dropping those costs way down while opening up several new ways to make money. The results? A much, much healthier profit at the end of the day. And the benefits go way beyond just the money. Instead of waiting for one or two big paydays a year from a harvest, you get a steady, consistent cash flow from selling things like milk, eggs, or vegetables every day. It also makes your farm incredibly resilient. If a drought wipes out your main crop, you still have income from your animals or your fish. It's like having a built-in financial safety net. So you're probably thinking, okay, this sounds incredible, but how would I even get started with something like this? Well, it's actually more doable than you might think. Let's walk through a simple plan to get you going. First things first, you've got to plan it out. You don't have to do everything at once. Just pick the components that make sense for the size of your land and what you already have. Second, get some training. Your local agricultural centers are often a goldmine of information and guidance. And third, do a little homework. Research your local market and see what people actually want to buy. Is there a big demand for fresh milk, fish, or organic veggies? When you step back and look at the whole picture,
It becomes really clear that this isn't just some alternative farming method. No, this is a blueprint for the future of smart, sustainable, and profitable agriculture.
Let's just do one final quick comparison. A traditional farm often depends on a single income source, which makes it really vulnerable. An integrated farm, on the other hand, has multiple streams of income, it's largely self-sufficient, and it is so much more financially resilient. You're really shifting your role from just being a producer to being the manager of your own thriving business ecosystem. So the final question to leave you with is this. Is a farm just a piece of dirt, or could it be something much, much more? Could it actually become a dynamic, profitable, and sustainable ecosystem? With integrated farming, that potential is absolutely there for the taking.